Here in the state of South Carolina in honor of the 59th anniversary of integration at USC. The early 1960s is when the civil rights movement in this country catapulted. Many young men and women took to the streets demanding for their equal rights. I spoke with Oveta Glover, a Midlands woman who was one of those young people fighting for equality in schools despite death threats against her family. Here's her story.
We were marching and picketing, and my father was a minister. My mother was a teacher.
In 1963, Oveta Glover's father was also the president of the NAACP in Charleston, where Oveta was born and raised. Like her parents, Oveta also became a prominent figure in the state of South Carolina by being one of the first students in the state to integrate public schools.
Integration wasn't about going to the white school. That's not what it was about. Yes, we went, but it was all about being equal, having the same things that they had. Good books, pencil, pens, paper, being able to read and not being picked at.
Historians say desegregation was a complete shift in socialization.
You have lived in a community, you have played with individuals, you have been shaped by teachers who knew you or your parents, and then boom, you're in a different environment.
Glover says she remembers moments when she would raise her hand in her third grade class and her teacher wouldn't call on her. She says she'll never forget her first day.
The teacher said hello and pointed to the back of the room and said, "That's your seat back there."
Heckled, harassed, and made to feel held down. Glover says it all took a toll on her. She even remembers being called the N-word at 9 years old. But when she turned 13, taunts turned to terror. Oveta's mother told her the school district in Charleston County wouldn't allow her to work because of Oveta's father's involvement in the civil rights movement. The family would receive calls and death threats, so they left and headed to Columbia.
We had to move out because it was getting bad right before the integration time. The few months right before that time, we were receiving all kinds of threats and calls. We could not stay there.
Although it was a brave and historic moment, it was in many respects traumatic, disturbing, overwhelming. There were some who survived one day. There were some who survived a short time. And there were others who persisted and who pushed ahead despite the challenges, despite the taunts, despite the opposition.
Persistent and determined, Oveta Glover, now the president of the NAACP chapter in Columbia, is still pushing forward with her parents' wise words right there with her.
My father would always say, "Baby, always walk and square off your back and hold your head up. Put your lipstick on and comb your hair. Draw the attention here."
Oveta Glover's story is just one of so many here in the state and around the country. There's so much rich history here in the Midlands. If you would like to walk through some pivotal landmarks in our area, you can actually sign up for a tour of downtown Columbia to see where certain incidents happened along Main Street.